Hey, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Pep Talk, the podcast that gives you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us, God, where we take all these crazy, complex health, wellness, and medical conversations that you're seeing all over social media, that you're hearing about in the news. We break them down into simple, usable, digestible aspects so that you understand them and you can take massive action steps to create the future for your health, for your friends, your family, and your loved ones. Hey, I'm your host, Dr. Eric Naputi. 20 plus years, I've been a physician in private practice in the field of functional medicine and functional neurology. And I'm excited to be with you today to go down this journey of something called methylation. Look, you're hearing about this all over social media. I mean, you can't go through a TikTok feed now without hearing about vitamins for methylation, methylcobalamin and L-methylfolic acid and the MTHFR, the mother trucker of all gene imbalances. Well, let me tell you that this is a serious conversation that I've been having with my patients, and I've been training doctors on this conversation for the last 20 years. And I'm glad that finally society now has a common sense, at least awareness of these genetic imbalances. Listen, you have to understand that most of the symptoms and diseases and disorders that humans suffer from are because of their body's inability to adapt to certain stresses. And those stresses are primarily physical, chemical, or neurological stresses in nature. And there are certain things that predispose you for those problems and for the inability to adapt to those stresses. One of them is a genetic imbalance. In fact, every man, woman, and child should have a genetic profile. I run a test on all my patients. I use the BioLimitless the BioLimitless DNA assessment that looks at 800,000 SNPs. You guys can find this on our website. You can go to biolimitless.com and find all that stuff. But that genetic test measures 800,000 genetic markers. And those 800,000 genetic markers can tell you how you should eat, how you should sleep, how you should supplement, how your body responds to stress, what type of physical illnesses you're predisposed to. It really gives you a blueprint and a roadmap of you, right? It gives you a parameter of how you should follow your life. Well, one of the big issues that people are having is a condition called methylation issues. Now, let me ask you this. I'm going to give you a real quick buzz through. Anybody you know or yourself that have symptoms of, I don't know, let me give you this list. There's like 25 plus symptoms that goes with methylation issues. This is a root cause problem. What about this? You ever heard of chronic fatigue, anxiety, or depression? What about brain fog or cognitive impairment? What about migraines or headaches? What about insomnia or sleeping issues, hormone imbalances, fibromyalgia, cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, infertility? What about frequent miscarriages, autism disorders, digestive issues? I mean, chronic inflammation, allergies, autoimmune issues, blood clots, cancers, mood swings, thyroid issues. The list goes on and on and on. These are all symptoms that individuals who have methylation problems suffer from. And a lot of times, because they never ever get to the root cause of the problem, they're chasing their symptoms all the time, spending all kinds of time, energy, and resources to have nothing but frustration and healthcare providers who don't know what's wrong with you. So I need you to understand that self-care is the real healthcare. And the more you can take care of yourself, the better you're going to achieve that healthcare goal. The more you know about how to take care of yourself, your family, your loved ones, and physicians, the better you know how to take care of your patients, the better results you're going to have. So let's talk a little bit about methylation. So you've heard of some of the symptoms of this. Methylation is a process. It's a biochemical process where we're actually transferring carbon atoms and hydrogen atoms onto certain chemicals in the body. And it's important for the proper balance of your DNA, of protein metabolism, which, by the way, proteins are what makes every tissue in your body, every white blood cell, red blood cell, every immune system cell, every, follicle in your hair, everything in your body is synthesized primarily from proteins. And I will tell you that once we get over the age of 30, most people have a serious problem with metabolizing and absorbing proteins. This is what accelerates the aging process. Well, if you have these methylation problems, these gene imbalances, and you're over the age of 30, it's a double whammy against you. I'm telling you, if you understand what I'm going to be explaining to you today, and you take some of these lifestyle changes, the process of repairing your body and healing your body, it's a lot more achievable and attainable. So I want to teach you how to tap into your genetics today a little bit. But before we do that, I want to talk about why methylation is important. Look, I'm gonna put these notes up here. So first of all, methylation is important because it helps regulate which genes in your body are turned on and turned off. So we have something in our body called epigenetics. Epigenetics are genes that turn on and turn off based off of stresses that you have physically, chemically, emotionally, spiritually, all the things. And if some of these genes are turned on and they're on for too long, it can lead to diseases. It can lead to adaptive physiology, which can cause all kinds of problems, including autoimmune issues, including heart disease, including cancers, including these things. Those genes also turn off those signals if we are methylating like it's supposed to. Proper methylation helps that the damage done to the DNA is repaired. And most of us are having DNA damage done every single day of our life, which leads to diseases, including cancers, unless we are doing the right things to repair our methylation pathways. Methylation is important because it deals with neurotransmitter production as well. Neurotransmitters like GABA, noradrenaline, serotonin, dopamine are primarily made in the GI tract and then transferred to the brain through the brain-gut axis in the system. And if you're deficient in these dopamines, that's going to cause addictive properties. ADD, ADHD type stuff. If you're deficient in GABA, that can lead to neurocognitive decline like dementia or Alzheimer's. If you are deficient in serotonin, you can't be happy. And if you're not happy, you're sad. And if you're sad, you're going to have depression. I mean, it's so damn commonsensical if you understand how these pathways work and how to biohack your own system and tweak your lifestyle to improve this. Number 3, methylation helps detoxify the body. Look, the average person comes into contact with over 700,000 chemical compounds in their daily routine. If your body, like fluoride and chlorine, that you shouldn't be exposed to, I don't give a crap how good it is for your teeth. It destroys your gut, your immune system, and your brain. I mean, you're going to have a great smile, but you're going to be mentally exhausted, fatigued, and sick, fat, and nearly dead altogether. So methylation is important to pull these harmful toxins, heavy metals, plastics, and these forever chemicals out of the system, which are running rampant in humans right now, especially here in North America, where we have over 1,000 chemicals allowed in our food and water supply that are illegal in other countries. This is why Americans are at the highest risk for future pandemics. That's why we did so bad during COVID, because we were already predisposed to weak immune systems because of all the toxins and the poor lifestyles we have. Number 4, methylation is important for proper immune system function and inflammation control. Doctors will tell you that cellular inflammation is the root cause of most chronic illness and disease, and I would agree with that, but I would like to go one step further and say that having imbalances in the methylation system of your body really is the root cause of that cellular inflammation in the first place. Number 5, methylation is important for hormone control. Hormones like insulin, which if you can't control, you're going to have blood sugar issues that leads to diabetes. Hormones like testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, pregnenolone, and so much more. It's so difficult. Listen, as a functional medicine doctor, I have patients that come see us, and we take care of people globally through our telehealth programs, which is, you can find that at biolimitlesstelehealth.com. And if we don't have a genetic profile on somebody, it's very difficult for us to manage your hormones successfully. That's why there's a lot of side effects of hormones and hormone replacement therapy if done improperly because of problems with methylation. Number 6, it deals with cellular energy production. There is a global pandemic right now on chronic fatigue because the body is not producing ATP. Adenosine triphosphate is what the body uses for energy. And whenever your body is your get up and go, got up and went, it's because you're not producing enough ATP in the system. Well, you could have methylation issues that's causing that chronic fatigue. And I don't care how much coffee you drink, how many adrenal supplements you take, or how many uppers you go through, you're not going to be able to have cellular energy because you have mitochondrial dysfunction. This is a huge problem that we're dealing with systemically today, globally, and it's all because of these gene imbalances. So let's talk about the genes and how to test them. The best way to do it is to run a saliva test. I use the DNA discovery test kit from BioLimitless. It's literally a spit test. And then you get an app. The application for it tells you exactly how to live your life, what you should and shouldn't do, gives you all the resources of foods and action steps that you should take. So let's talk about what genes are going to be the problems. The first gene that you need to measure is called the MTHFR gene. MTHFR. That gene looks like and sounds like the word mother trucker, right? That's the politically correct word to say it. That gene is problematic to the 90th power, probably at the highest susceptibility for methylation issues. This is a very big problem. Number 2 is a COMT, COMT gene. This breaks down dopamine and other neurotransmitters and helps your mental health, helps your body respond to stress. The third gene is called mTR gene. This gene works on vitamin B12 and helps balance out homocysteine and melatonin. So this helps with sleep, energy, and heart health in the body. Another one is the mTRR gene. This helps the body also with B12. And this one, if you have a positive mTRR gene, you require more sleep than the average person. Your brain resets itself when you go into that deep parasympathetic rest and relaxation mode, and your brain's lymphatic system, called the glymphatic with a G, helps drain. Well, if you have an mTRR gene imbalance, you must have at least 8 to 10 hours of sleep daily. Another gene is called the CBS gene. This involves homocysteine and breaks down sulfur in the body. If you have an issue with sulfur metabolism, you're going to be more predisposed to toxins and immune system dysfunction. There's another gene called the BHMT gene. This deals with betaine and homocysteine levels. This has a lot to do with melatonin, so sleep and immune system function, and also has a lot to do with vitamin D production, which is a hormone synthesizer more than it is a vitamin synthesizer. Another gene is the ACAT gene, which is acetylcholine, that helps the body detoxify and produce ATP. Another one is your FOLH1 gene. This deals with folate. If you have any issues with any type of methylation genes, you should be taking B12, but the form must be methylfolate, all right? It must be methylfolate, all right? And that's what we have. It has to be L-methylfolate. And then that's for B9, sorry. If it's B12, it has to be methylcobalamin. So methylated B12 and methylated B9 are essential. Also another gene called SHMT gene. This helps convert something called serine, which is an amino acid, into glycine, which is amino acid, which helps with methylation, detox, and energy. And then the last gene that could be problematic is called the GNMT. This deals with glycine, and this has a lot to do with converting glycine into methylation, which again is energy production and detoxification in the body. You can run the test, which is the Discovering DNA BioLimitless exam, to find that stuff out. Now, here's what you should do. Here are some biohacks that you should do if you have any or all of these genes. Number 1, First of all, know that thank God you found the cause of the problem and you can take some action steps now to tweak your lifestyle. There's no one drug, there's no one supplement, there's no one thing you can do to overcome this. And these genes are typically genes that you're born with, and they typically do not migrate back into what we would call a clean gene. They typically stay as a dirty gene. However, we are finding that with long-term lifestyle changes that we can show some reversal, rarely, but we can, with some of these genes. So number one, what you want to do is supplement with active folate, okay? You cannot take folic acid. Any food or supplement or energy drink that has folic acid in it is kryptonite for your body. So you can take 5-MTF, MTHF, or you can, what I use, I put it in a formula that we use called cell signaling technology. We have L-methylfolate in here. That's the active form of folic acid. Number two, you must take a supplement called methylcobalamin, and you have to avoid all other types of B12. B12 is known as cobalamin. Methylcobalamin is what you should be taking. I put that in the cell signaling formula as well. You want to take that first thing in the morning. The methylcobalamin, between a 500 and 1,000 mcgs a day is the dose that you should have for that. It's critical in homocysteine production and energy production, and it helps with insulin resistance. A lot of people who are insulin resistant or pre-diabetic or diabetic have these methylation problems. We should add some vitamin B6 to the diet. It helps facilitate neurotransmitter production and homocysteine balance. We should add magnesium, and I like either a chelated form of magnesium or magnesium glycinate. They're just easy to absorb, they're inexpensive, and how you find your dose is you take your body weight times 10.6, divide that by 2.5. That's how many milligrams per day of magnesium you should be taking as a supplement daily. It is a game changer for people. Add some leafy greens to your diet, or even some cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, those kinds of things. They're rich in natural folate, and they really help support the detox pathway. We use a formula called Detox Pro Plus. It is a formula that has what are called binders and detoxifiers. So we want to pull the toxins out of the cells, and then we want to, once the toxins come out of the cells in the body, we need to bind those to something in the extracellular space. That's the space outside of the cell. So we use things like diatomaceous earth, activated charcoal, fulvic and humic acid, cliniptolite, zeolite, things of that nature that are binders and detoxifiers you can take on a daily basis. Massive efficiency with that. I recommend a formula called cell signaling technology. It's a peptide-based formula that has the methylated B9 and the methylated B12 in it as well. And the primary peptides that are in there are peptides, neurotransmitter peptides for the brain, and BPC 157 peptide that's in that formula that's known as the Wolverine peptide to heal and seal the gut. I'm a big fan of using betaine. Betaine helps control homocysteine and melatonin in the body. And then number 9, omega-3 fish oils, about 3 grams to 6 grams a day of omega-3 fish oils. And then look, practice regular exercise, get outside in nature, make sure your vitamin D levels are where they're at. And I'm telling you, you can overcome so many of the complicating issues that you have by first recognizing that you have a methylation issue, and then by secondly, taking action to change your lifestyle, and then by third, adding the right supplementation and other healthy action steps. This can massively improve the quality and function of your cells, your genetic expression, and your gut microbiome, which is the key to helping you have a fully productive, healthy body. So look, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go back and re-listen to this podcast. I want you to share this with your friends and family. This is one of the most common problems that we see. Over 75% of the global population has methylation issues. There are simple, easy, effective, and affordable things that you can do to get results, but you have to consistently do these things. It takes a minimum of 90 days to make a change in cellular function, and about 6 months for your body to make that new switch and its new pattern and programming that this is how the body should be done. And by the way, if you have these genetic imbalances, you need to do this for the rest of your life. Like, you have the ability to take your life and health back. But I'm going to tell you that you also have the responsibility to do it. It's not up to me as a physician. It's not up to your doctors. It's not up to social media influencers. It's up to you. You got to go knock and the answers will come to you. So listen, we'll give you the map, the keys in the car. Make sure you go to our website. That's peptalk.world, peptalk.world. You guys can find all the information we've got out there. Share this with your friends and family members. And remember, knowledge is power, but wisdom is taking that knowledge and applying it to your life. Until we meet again, I'm Dr. Eric Naputi. God bless you. God bless America, and God bless the world. Stay smart out there, and we'll see you soon. Be well.